What is up? It is Mooks of the West from Geeks of the West. This is a tad bit late, but I want to talk about the Confederate flag. That is right, the Confederate flag. Why? That is what you may be asking. But isn't this a gaming tech channel? Yes, it is. After listening, you may be curious as to what the Confederate flag has to do with technology, science, and gaming. Well, you smart cookie, I'll get into that. Let us start with facts. The flag itself does not speak. It has no emotions, no thoughts, and it has no opinions. It is an object, an inanimate object. Therefore, with no bias, I can say it is not racist. It is just a flag. Let us make just one more exemplification to this whole mess. It is not the national Confederate flag. Did I blow your mind yet? Did I blow your mind yet? It's illogical to claim it is racist. It is painful to see that people can't reason with facts. We are confusing the difference between fact and opinion. The flag is candidly and solely a battle flag. Within the simplest manner I can establish this, strictly speaking, the protesters are empty-headed. That's it. That's pretty much it. People, for some reason, cannot think for themselves, and it is a problem. Uneducated people are going to mangle this country. They are harming society. And that's true. Now, can I just list facts? Okay. I'll state them simply and clearly. So if you doubt me, you can type it in and research it for yourself. Because if you really believe that you can think for yourself and you think the Confederate flag is racist, then you need to be able to research. So I'll say it plain and simple, and I'll be clear when I say it. Fact number 1. Abraham Lincoln was racist. Okay? Copy and paste, or not, don't copy and paste that. Type it into the search engine, to your URL bar, to your search bar, whatever it may be. Type it in, copy and paste. I don't care. I don't fucking care. Just do one of those. Okay? In many of his speeches, he is quoted saying he does not believe that Negroes and whites will be socially equal. That was Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln. Fact number 2, Abraham Lincoln's anti-slave secretary had slaves. Don't believe me? Google it, Yahoo it, Bing it. I don't care. Do something. Look it up on a freaking search engine. Fact number 3, Abraham Lincoln has been quoted saying that if there was a way to save the Union without abolishing slavery, he would. It's amazing. I want you to type that in, and I want you to actually research. In some of his letters, he actually wrote that down. It's that simple. Look it up. Fact number 4, the North had slaves. Whoa, what? Was it the North against slavery? No, the North was not against slavery. Never was. It's just something that they used in their efforts to defeat the South and unify the Union and the Confederacy. Number 5. Not all southern states had slaves. Wow. Wow. I dare you to type that one in. I dare you to type it in. Black people sold black people. What do I mean by that? Well, Portuguese, the French, and the Irish, and, a bunch of other fucking people went to Africa and bought black people from other black people. It's amazing. And you know what? If you listen to any ignorant person talk, like, it's terrible what the white people thought they could just do and just go and kidnap these black people. Like, no, they weren't kidnapped. They were sold by freaking black people. It's amazing. Look it up. Type it in. Black people sold black people. Slavery. Amazing. Fact number 7. The biggest slave plantation was owned by a black man. It's crazy to think about because you were never told this, so it's unbelievable. Wake up. I just want to say those are facts. No matter how hard you try to argue it, those are simply simply put, facts. You can't refute it because those are facts. You can Google it all you want. People will state otherwise, but those are facts. And if you try to refute it, no matter how good of an argument you come up with, they are facts, and facts are facts within facts within facts. That's just how it is. Okay, and it's irritating when people compare the Confederate flag to the Nazi flag. Completely different. Because the Nazi flag, Nazis literally set out to kill Jews. That's what it was. That's Jews, gypsies, homosexuals, anybody who disagreed with them, anybody you can think of. Okay, that is what the Nazis did. The Southern flag, the Confederate flag, the battle flag, if we're gonna be correct, they didn't set out to own slaves and kill people. No, they wanted to be their own separate country. And yes, they did have it in their constitution that slavery was legal. And guess what? The North had slaves at this time too. So the fact that you're saying that slaves was part of the whole Civil War is fucking ridiculous. And it's not true. It's an urban legend. It's a myth. It's what we were told because, well, you know, the Union won. The victor writes history. History is written by the victor. And guess who the victor was? The Union, the North, the country we are now. It wasn't the Confederacy of the United States. It was it wasn't the Confederate States of America. It was the United States of America that won. Okay, the Confederate States lost, so they didn't write any history. The United States of America won. And guess what? Guess what? This is what we're told. Don't you think that there's some sort of bias? Don't you think that the United States is a little biased? Of course not. And also what irritates me is when people show pictures of the Ku Klux Klan using American flag or the Confederacy flag, and black people are hung with the Confederate flag, and that's their proof that the Southern flag is racist. But you know what? Those are the same people that will defend the American flag, and guess what? You can look up pictures with the Ku Klux Klan using the American flag. Can't you? Look it up. Ku Klux Klan, American flag. You'll see just as many pictures. But people in the media and anti-racism, supposedly anti-racist people will use pictures of them using a Southern flag, and they'll say that's the proof of racism, even though you can see the same the American flag used by the same group of people. Just because somebody decides to misuse a symbolism, a flag, an object, doesn't mean that that object is racist or should offend you. Just like knives are good for cutting meat and cutting food and other things, but people use it to kill people, but we're not banning fucking knives. It's amazing how people can be that fucking stupid. Okay, it's just ridiculous. What else really bothers me is these same motherfuckers who want the Confederate flag banned. Black people voted 99% for the Democratic Party. I'm not against the Democratic Party. I'm not against the Republican Party. I'm not against the Independent Party. I agree that they have their purpose. But guess what? Guess what? Who the fuck do you think owned slaves? It wasn't the fucking Republican Party. If of course you are, you know, being ignorant and uneducated, it was the Republicans that freed the fucking slaves. And it was the Democratic Party that was running the Confederate States of America. The flag reminds these people of racism, but the Democratic Party doesn't? Obama doesn't? What? How? Because the battle flag was back when the Civil War was, and so was the fucking Democratic Party. They were fucking solely responsible for the South. Hello? But now, we're going to ignore that. Because that's what people like to do. They like to be pissed off about things that they don't even need to be pissed off about. Which doesn't surprise me. Now you're probably wondering where this plays into technology, or gaming, or science. I just want to ask you a simple question, and once I ask this question, I want you to think of your answer. It'll make sense as to why I'm talking about the Confederate flag on a gaming, tech, news, science channel. Okay. Or a growing, or new tech channel in development. It'll make sense when I ask you this simple question. Are we more successful at doing things when we are separated, divided, or are we more successful at doing things when we are united? Okay, I'm gonna rephrase that question so you can think about it more and hear it in a different way. Are we more successful when we are divided ideology? Are we more successful when we are divided ideology? Or are we more successful when we are unified by beliefs and acceptance? That's a legit question in my mind, because what happens, or what is happening, is these people who actually have power, and they don't know it because they got the flag removed from the Capitol building, one of the Capitol buildings, and now there's this whole controversy behind the Confederate flag. But you know what that manpower could have done? You know what that manpower could have protested to? Better wages, better treatment, okay, better government, you know, more technology, more news, more medicine. They could have protested to cancer. They could have raised money for cancer, but they did this unified effort against the Confederate flag instead of something that really matters. They are under the false interpretation that banning a flag is going to end racism. That is ridiculous. Okay, now the people, I'm going to talk about protesters who I actually think solved a problem or did good in the world. And they're the ones who did the gay protests, the equal rights, not the pro-gay, okay, but more of the equal rights, the equal sort of spectrum of it. Not the ones that are like, yeah, go gay people, but the ones who are like, everybody deserves marriage. Those are the people that I give props to, because they stood up for something and they did something that will benefit human life. I don't agree with gay people. I'm not pro-gay, but I do think that everybody deserves the right to be married to whoever the fuck they want to be, as long as it's another human being. That's all I care about. That is all I care about. But the thing is these people are putting their power into useless shit when it comes to a Confederate flag. Why not do something that represents equal rights, or something that benefits the scientific, technological, medical community, or socially equal community? Not social rights where one group of people gets more rights than the other, but something that benefits everybody. That is what could be done if people actually cared that much about the world. Anyway, this is Mooks of the West, signing out. Have a good one.